Hi friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm Katie. Today we are doing an unbox and chat of my newest fountain pen. It's going to be a very chatty video. I don't really expect there to be any of like the typical fountain pen review kinds of things because this is a custom made pen and a really special one for me, and so it's more going to be storytelling and hanging out. So I'm just going to open this real quick so that we can get my address out of the way, and we'll slowly work our way through all the important bits. Oh, that's beautiful. I kind of knocked the ribbon off while I was pulling it out of the packaging. So this is from Silverburl Pens, handmade by John Sanderson. This is my second Silverburl Pens. I have a beautiful quartz strata pen. I don't have it with me right now. I will put a picture in here. It's one of my very favorite pens. It's like the nonagon, it's got the facets, it's got the beautiful custom clip. I really love it. It's one of my favorite pens, and so when I was starting to get the itch for a new pen, I knew it was going to be another Silverburl. The background is, before I open it, I'd fallen in love with a particular resin. I'd seen it. It doesn't come up that often. I'd seen it. Atelier Lusso has posted one. Rockstar Pens has posted one or two, but it doesn't come up that often. It's not like a Turnt Pen Co. resin that like you kind of see a lot of those a lot of the time. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's a little off the beaten path, and I totally fallen in love with it. And it's made by a British maker, and so in my mind it was a slam dunk to get John, who's in the UK, he's in Cornwall, to make it for me. And then also, as I was looking at Silverburl pens back before, he makes these custom engraved clips, and they're beautiful, and I'd fallen in love with this flower one, but it didn't go with the quartz strata pen that I was commissioning at the time, and so I've just kept it in my back pocket. So this is kind of a custom grail pen for me. It's a combination of a bunch of things that I really love, all put into one. So let's go ahead and open it. Comes in a little sleeve. John is an absolute delight to work with. Really helped me think through the different considerations. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've seen pictures, but in person, oh yeah. So let's see, make sure I'm in frame. So this is actually a cellulose resin. So it's kind of got that like translucent luminosity. And when I had talked to John about getting it done, he suggested I get a bigger pen done so that we could leave the walls a little thicker, because there are some places where it can be quite translucent. I don't know that you can really see them, but you can see a little bit of like some inner workings here and whatever. And so by being able to leave it, yeah, here you can see, I can see there's like a translucent spot right here, but because we left it thicker, it's like translucent, but to another, yeah, here you can see a little bit of the section. And I think this is perfectly fine. He'd warned me about the translucency. We'd worked on how we were going to deal with it. It's a combination of like kind of a strawberry red color and like a peony pink color, and this teal in particular doesn't come off great in photos, so I'm looking, and it's a little greener in person here than it is on camera. It's like a, yeah, it's like a teal color. It's beautiful. And then here, let's see if we can get the clip without too much glare. It's this beautiful floral and leaves pattern. I was talking to Karina about this, and I asked her, I was like, is it weird to name my pens? And I kind of want to name this one Peony at Twilight is the name of this pen in my mind. The actual name of the resin is Bastille, but which is fine. But I'm naming this pen Peony at Twilight. And that it's peony season here as well. So it's got a nice, this is the stepless model, which he said people have been really enjoying lately, and I believe him. It's really nice. I tend to be a person who holds their pens really close to the nib, and so that's not a thing I personally worry about, but it does feel really good if you're holding it on the threads here. I got mine with a Cypress fine nib. I got it, it's a Bach housing, which will be my first time delving into the world of Bach housings. And then it came with a converter. Here's a thing I will teach you if you, so I just had, my other one is in for repair because the threads in here are a little delicate, and when I was pushing my converter in, I was holding it on this section and it was putting a lot of strain on the nib, and I broke the threads that are in the inside. He's been great, and he's fixing it for me, but in the future I've now learned to hold the nib instead of the section. When you put the converter in, it puts a lot less stress on here. So I'll just pass that along for you all. But everything is just really nicely made. He's got this beautiful silver accents. There's a little info here about the Argentinium silver. And it's really pretty. I wish the teal were coming out properly on camera. But it feels really nice in the hand. Because we went with the bigger model, because of the resin, I was really okay with that because it makes a nice wide grip, which I find very comfortable to hold, especially as a person who tends to hold it really close. So, like, for example, I find the Benu Euphorias to be a little too thin, and you can see how much more girth there is here than that. What else do I have around here? I said I wasn't going to do pen comparisons, but here's the Pro Gear, the full-size Pro Gear, which I do find comfortable, but this one's wider yet. My Esterbrook is not currently accessible to me, but it's probably similar to that, maybe even a little bigger, but close. It's similar, and like the Esterbrook, it's doesn't have much of a taper. It's maybe a little more tapered, but it's mostly conical, which I really like. Okay, we should play a game, and unlike my Nonicon, this one rolls. Let's look through my ink and see what feels like a good match. This is my ink compendium. We'll put this here. Oh, all right, go ahead, stand. And we'll just page through it. Again, there will be some problems with getting things, the color right. The Kuzu is actually a nice match, the Sailor Manu Kuzu. It's a nice match for some of the, like, moodier bits. In general, I consider this to be a very moody pen. It's, I don't know, it's got a lot of ambiance. I think the Kuzu is a nice touch. The Nuller Cigar Wine is too purple. The deep magenta is a little much, although it's not far. The mulled wine, the Diamine mulled wine would look really nice. The candy cane isn't quite right. The Colorverse Miss Baker, I actually like it. That's like a better, like, that's more a match for the, like, what I'm calling the peony color. The Gerbera would match nicely. The rose quartz is a little too blue. We're spending a lot of time here in this section. We'll go through the other sections faster, but we just open straight to the BPC prickly pear is, you know, dark. Ooh, this Ferris wheel press cabaret on the lake would be a really delightful match with the shimmer in it. It's got gold shimmer, but still, I think that would be really nice. These are a little... All right, and then we can skip, I think, to our blues and teals. There's not going to be anything else in these sections. I love Colorverse Gravity Wave. That's one of my favorite colors, and it's a great match. I know it doesn't show up great on camera. All of these colors lose their green on camera, which is really annoying. The Robert Oster Clearwater Rain is a little bluer, a little less green. It would match. Oh, I got rid of this ink. The J. Herbin Emerald de Chavour is perfect, and that's one you guys probably have at least experienced. So even if it's not showing up right on camera, yeah, it's lost some of its green. You can imagine that's the color. That's the color we're talking about here. That would be perfect. I just sent that to somebody because I was like, I'm never gonna use this. I still have the BPC Lightning Twinkle, which isn't quite as green, but I could use. And that's got like red sheen, and instead of gold shimmer, it's got like a multicolor shimmer. So I could use that one. These are too blue. That one's too warm as well. I think that's probably the Allegheny River kind of goes. I think we're about it. There's some purples here. I mean, plenty of these like don't clash. The Wearing Gold Jane Eyre would look nice. These are a little too purple, but they feel about right. These are too cool toned for purple. And then my collection of grayish colors. You know, milkweed would look nice, but they're not quite it. Pennsylvania Fieldstone technically goes. So there you go. I mean, the one I got most excited about when I held it up was the Ferris Wheel Press Cabaret on the Lake. I think it's a beautiful match for this pen. I'm just feeling unsure of if it's what I feel like having inked at this current moment. I think I might prefer something a little more vibrant. I'm tempted to do this Colorverse Miss Baker, because that's kind of in line with what I'm feeling. But the problem is that I got one of these teeny tiny bottles. There's still actually a fair amount in there. Okay, I'll syringe fill that. So we're gonna use the Colorverse Miss Baker in here. It would be wise of me to rinse this out. I don't feel like it, but I've got this thing of water right here. So let's go ahead and do that. We can wonder if I have a syringe that's clean. So we've gotten some of the water out. Let's try and get all the water. And I think I'm just going to put the cartridge, the converter, straight in to this tiny, tiny bottle. Hopefully it'll fit. Yes, it does. Great. All right, we got a nice fill there. I've used less of this ink than I thought I had. I only kind of thought that this would give me only a couple fills, and that's probably true, but that means... All right, I'm gonna hold the nib and insert the converter, and then push some of the ink through. In general, Colorverse inks are a little on the dry side, so I'm a little worried about it with the water in the feed. It'd be better if I had like truly given things the opportunity to clean and dry. Let me get my little testy notebook. I use a an outdated Take a Note planner, which has 68 GSM. My river paper, and this is just where I play. All right, here we go. So, I just came back from a trip and I don't have any of my like stuff around. All right, so there's still some water in this bead, unsurprisingly. Let's give it a little bit more of a prime. Oh, I was gonna say, I have a tendency to think of my pens as seasonal. I have like my spring pens and my winter pens, or you know, not fully seasonal, but like spring, summer, and like fall, winter kinds of pens, and I don't mind that. It helps me like swap my pens back and forth. But it's nice when I have something that I feel like doesn't feel especially seasonal, but still feels really beautiful. This one easily could be a winter pen. Like it's got some of that kind of moody darkness to it, but it's also got this like beautiful pink, and it feels like a spring pen, but at night. So I expect to really love having this inked no matter what time of year it is. Okay, off screen, I did a little more priming. I tested the nib a little more, and really what I came to the conclusion was that the ink wasn't wet enough, probably because Colorverse inks are a little on the dry side, and because of the water I had added. It's possible that the nib and feed are dry as well, but I don't have enough information to do that. So I didn't want to mess with the nib, so I ended up messing with the ink, and I added just a little bit of white lightning to it. And now we are getting nice, it's still a little dry on the upstroke, but not terrible. But I'm getting a lot better flow through the nib as I write. I'm too busy talking and can't write. And you can see how much more nicely it's flowing through the pen now than it was originally, this beautiful color, and how nicely it matches this pen. So I'm really thrilled. This is the combination of a lot of things I had been dreaming of and wanting, the right resin, the right clip, the right maker. It's just really, really beautiful. So thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and story time. I need to get a thing to prevent this from rolling. One of the little pen perches from, I don't remember the name, Fountain Pendulum, something like that. I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, I'm thrilled, and I appreciate you hanging out with me for the moment. This is Peonies at Twilight by Silverburl Pens.